Hi, my name is Shell. Thank you for coming to check out this flow. If you enjoy it, I have a website with lots of flows just like this one. We also have meditations, workshops, guest instructors, lots of things yoga. So come check us out if you have a good time today. Hi guys, welcome back to day 3 of our 5-day Yoga Bum Challenge. Today's flow is going to be focused on back bends, which I'm super excited about. Back bends are my personal favorite genre of yoga pose. And I also believe that they are the most beneficial in conjunction with modern living. They reverse all of the sitting in a car, sitting at a desk, hunched over a phone that we do from day to day. So yeah, let's get started. Lots of back bends keep that spine young and healthy. We're gonna start in child's pose. So go ahead and make your way there. Big toes together. And you choose, you can have your knees together and release your spine over your legs, or you can take your knees out a little bit wider and have more of an opening through your shoulders. Lots of length in your spine either way. Taking a moment here to find your breath. In a child's pose, your chin naturally tucks in towards your neck, opening up that airway. Take a moment to picture that airway in your mind's eye. Picture the energy flowing in and out of your lungs through your throat. Taking your inhales and exhales through your nose if you're not already. And then crawl your hands over to the right side of your mat. Your left hand is going to be on the ground. Your right hand's going to be on top of your left hand. And your right hand is anchoring your left hand down so that you can pull your left hip back and find lots of length between your left fingertips and your left hip. Walk your hands through center, over to the other side. Now your right hand is in contact with the ground. Your left hand is anchoring your right hand down. And you're pulling your right hip back. Lots of length in that right side body. Bring your hands back to center for just a couple breaths. Let your hips pull back a little farther, a little bit more length in your spine. And then start to walk your hands back. You're going to sit on your knees. If that's not comfortable, take it to a crisscross or any other seated position that's comfortable for you. And then bring your right hand to your right thigh. You're going to reach your left hand behind your body. You're looking for your right bicep. If you can't quite reach that, just bring your left hand to your low back or grab an article of clothing. And then you're going to let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. Looking for length in the left side of your neck now. You might need to rock your head forward and back to find the best place. Bring your head back up to center. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Pull your knuckles down, opening your heart, taking your gaze up and back just a little bit. And then as you release, left hand to your left thigh, right hand behind your body, maybe your right hand on that left bicep. And then let your your left ear fall towards your left shoulder, finding length in the right side of your neck now. Very nice. From here, coming up onto your knees, walk your hands out in front of you. We're going to take a puppy pose. So your hips are right over your knees. Your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Hands are way out in front of you. Arms are parallel. And you're letting your chest or your chin or your forehead pull towards the mat. Nothing has to touch the mat. You're just looking for an opening through the fronts of your shoulders. Shift your weight forward, coming to a Sphinx pose. Now your elbows are at 90-degree angles. Your fingers are spread nice and wide. Crown of your head is tall. Take some circles through your neck here. And then keep your left hand right where it's at, that left forearm on the ground. Reach your right hand back for your right foot. You're looking for a quad stretch here. Go ahead and release that foot. You're going to lower all the way down onto your belly. Left arm extends out to a T. And then you're going to step your right foot back behind your left leg. Head is on the ground, no tension in your neck. And you're just rolling open onto that left shoulder. Your right hand can be wherever you want. It can be in front of you, helping you push open, find a deeper stretch. It can be on your belly, your low back. Go ahead and roll back to center onto your belly. And then interlace your fingers behind your back again. Pull your knuckles back towards your heels, lifting your chest. And then lift your legs. Bring your big toes to touch. Floating your chest and your legs. Engaging all of the muscles in the back of your body, the muscles along your spine, the back of your legs. One more breath here. Lift a little higher. And then we're pressing right back to a child's pose, releasing. Starting to warm up along your back. Building strength. In this child's pose, maybe crawl your fingers an inch or two further forward and then settle back, letting your hips pull back towards your heels, lots of length in your spine. And then from here, we're moving back to that puppy pose. Crawl your hands out, knees are at a 90-degree angle, lift your hips. Maybe notice how your shoulders feel compared to the first time we were here. Close your eyes, find some stillness. Shift your weight forward, coming back to a Sphinx pose. Let your belly come to the ground. Pull your elbows back. Pull your chest through your shoulders. If you want to find some more movement through your neck, go ahead. Otherwise, just pull the crown of your head really tall. This time, you're keeping your right forearm planted. Reach that left hand back for your left foot, finding that quad stretch. Go ahead and release. Come all the way down onto your belly. Right arm comes to a T this time. Step your left foot back behind your right leg. Your head and neck are heavy on the ground. Sending your breath towards that right shoulder. Roll back onto your belly. This time, just bring your arms to your sides, palms facing up. And then again, peel your chest up off the ground and then float your legs. Try to lift a little higher this time. And then we're going to make some swimming motions with your arms. So reach forward with that right hand, back with the left, and then over to the other side. Keep moving like this, reaching forward and back. Try to bring your big toes to touch. One more time to each side. And then interlace your fingers behind your back just for one breath. Lift a little bit higher. And then release, press back to a child's pose. Nice job. Those aren't fun, but they're so good for your back. From that child's pose, go ahead and shift your way towards a tabletop position. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And then start to move through some cat-cow posture. So on your inhale, drop your belly, tailbone, and gaze up. Exhale, rounding, pressing into your hands. Keep moving like this, following your breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. If you want to throw in a little side to side movement here, maybe make some circles with your hips, whatever would feel great on your spine. From here, making your way to your first downward facing dog, you'll just tuck your toes, lift your hips, pressing up and back. Pedal through your heels. Imagine a string drawing your tailbone right up towards the ceiling. And then put a really deep bend in your knees. Look forward between your hands. Take a really big step up to the top of your mat. Look out with a flat back, hands to your shins. And then fold over your legs. We'll be here for an extra breath or two. Head and neck are really heavy. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, arms to your side. Inhale, arms and gaze lift. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, look out. We're moving through our first vinyasa. Exhale, plant your hands. Step or jump, high plank. Squeeze your elbows in, maybe drop down onto your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, we're right back in that downward facing dog. From this down dog, lift your right leg, put a bend in that knee, and then draw some circles with your knee. Opening through that right hip, going both directions. And then step that foot up between your hands, rise up really strong, a high lunge. Come a little further forward on your left toes, and then lower that left knee down, a low lunge. If you need to grab a pillow or fold up a towel to put underneath that left knee, that might make it a little bit more comfortable. Frame that right foot with your hands. Sit your hips back, a half split. Flex your right toes towards your face. Sitting your hips really far back, finding lots of length in the back of that right leg. And then we're moving right back to that low lunge. Rebend that right knee. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm down, reaching over with your left hand, a side stretch. Up through center, over to the other side, left hand plants, right arm reaches. Inhale back to center, interlace your fingers behind your back, pull your knuckles down, make this a back bend. It's going to make that sensation in your left hip a little bit stronger. As you rise up, both hands inside your right foot. Let your right knee fall open. Moving towards a lizard. If you can drop down onto your forearms, move there. Keep your core engaged. Don't completely collapse into this. You should feel both hips opening here. It's a pretty intense posture. If this feels really nice wherever you are, stay here. If you'd like to take it a step further, whether your forearm or your hand is on the ground, you can reach your right hand back for your left foot, and it'll make this a twist and a quad stretch. Very nice. Wherever you are, plant your hands into the mat, tuck your left toes, and then just step that right foot back, a downward facing dog. If you'd like to drop onto your knees for child's pose, we have about 3 more breaths here. That is a great option, because we're going to take that same sequence on the left. If you're in child's pose, make your way back to a down dog. And then lift your left leg. Find some circles through that left hip now. Moving in both directions. Step the left foot up between your hands. Rise up, a high lunge. Arms reach up. Bring your hips a little further forward, higher on your right toes. And then lower that right knee down. Untuck your toes, a low lunge here. Sending your breath to the front of that right hip. Sit your hips back, a half split. Flex your left toes towards your face. And then rebend that left leg back to a low lunge. Inhale, arms and gaze lift. Exhale, left hand down, reaching over with your right fingertips. Inhale, back to center, over to the other side. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Interlace fingers behind your back. We're making this a back bend. Pull your knuckles down, open your heart. More opening through that right hip flexor. As you rise up, both hands inside of your left foot. We're moving to lizard on this side. Again, dropping down onto your forearms if that feels good. Feeling that sensation in both hips, using your exhales to sink deeper. Turning this into the twist, if you'd like to, reaching back for that right foot with your left hand. Turning this into a double hip opener, quad stretch, twist, everything. Very nice. Go ahead and release. Plant your hands, lift up onto your right toes. Step that left foot back to a downward facing dog. And then drop your knees down. Press back, child's pose. From this child's pose, we are going to move into a round of camel. And what that's going to look like is you're going to lift up tall onto your knees, hips stacked right over your knees, hands to your low back, and gaze up and back. Keeping your hips stacked, pressing your hips forward, opening along the whole front side of your body. Don't forget to breathe here. Go ahead and rise back up. We'll counter this with child's pose. Sit your hips back. Lots of length in your spine. We're going to take one more round of this. If that does not sound like fun, stay in a child's pose for a few more breaths. If you'd like to take another round of camel, lift back up onto your knees. Hands to your low back, gaze up and back. If your shoulders feel nice and open, you can drop your hands down to your ankles and then open from here. If you're in the back bend, move back to release in that child's pose. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look between your hands, big step or jump your feet to the top of the mat. Look out and fold. Inhale, rise up. Step your feet out mat distance apart. Turn your heels in slightly. Sit your hips down, Malasana squat. If your heels aren't on the ground, that's okay. Try taking your feet out a little bit wider or grabbing a towel or something to slide under your heels to make this more comfortable. Bring your hands to heart center, using your elbows to help open up your legs and your hips. Plant your hands, heels turn out so your feet are parallel, finding a medium wide forward fold here. Play around with shifting the weight more into the balls of your feet. And then from here, step your feet back to a downward facing dog. Right foot steps up between your hands, left heel drops to the mat. Windmill your arms open, warrior two. Your feet are perpendicular to each other. A nice deep bend in your right knee. Make sure that knee's not falling inward. Drop your left hand, reach back with your right, reverse your warrior. And then as you rise up, pivot onto your left toes, a high lunge. Left hand plants inside your right foot, a firefly twist. Right hand reaches up, you're twisting towards that bent right leg. Bring that right hand inside your right foot. You might have to walk the right foot out a little bit more. You want it to be on the edge of your mat. Rock forward and back on your left toes. And then from here, we're taking a big step back up to the Malasana squat. Left foot to the outside of your left hand. Hands to heart center or on the mat, wherever you want them. You want your weight more in your heels here, almost like you're on the verge of tipping over backwards. A really tall spine. Plant your hands, forward fold, feet are parallel. Maybe bend one knee and then the other, sway your torso from side to side. And then plant your hands, step it back, a downward facing dog. Left foot steps up, right heel drops. Windmill your arms to a T, warrior two. Gazes over your left fingertips. Hips are tucked. Drop your right hand, reach back with your left, reverse your warrior. As you rise up, pivot onto your right toes, a high lunge. Right hand plants next to your left foot. Left hand reaches up, a firefly twist. Left hand comes inside of your left foot. Rock forward and back on your right toes. And then a big step back up with your right foot. Malasana squat. So nice, you guys. From here, drop your hips to the ground. You're rolling onto your back. Feet plant, heels where they're more or less touching your fingertips. And we're going to take some more back bending. Last couple rounds, so give it everything you got. Press your hips up, engaging your glutes, your hamstrings. Your weight is in your shoulders. Maybe play around with interlacing your fingers and pressing your pinkies into the ground. Walk your shoulder blades a little closer together. One more breath, lift a little higher. Exhale, release your hands and lower your hips. Pull your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Maybe take a happy baby. Gathering your breath. This is our last round of back bending. Give it 100%. Either take another round of bridging like we just did, or plant your hands next to your ears and you'll lift your shoulders up off the ground for a full wheel. Move to your back bend of choice. We're here for about 5 more breaths and then we'll start to wind things down. Wherever you are, really strong breath, pressing your hips up. One more really strong inhale. Exhale, releasing one vertebrae at a time, bringing your hips back down to the mat. And then again, taking happy baby or some other way of release if you just want to hug your knees into your chest. Maybe take a plow pose. And just letting your spine move the other way. Plant your left foot on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. We're going to take a reclined pigeon. Either leave your left foot on the ground or maybe pull that leg in towards your chest. If that feels nice on your outer right hip. We're winding down here. Notice as your breathing slows a little bit. We're going to move this towards a supine twist. So left foot is on the ground. Keep your legs as they are and just let everything fall over to the left. Arms out to a T. Gaze over to the right. If you want to make this more intense in your right outer hip, you can just walk your feet up towards your left hand, your left arm, and you'll notice. Very nice. Bring your legs back to center. This time your right foot's on the ground. Your left ankle is crossed on your right knee. Again, option to pull those legs in towards your chest. And then from here, both legs fall over to the right. Your gaze is over your left shoulder. Now as you move back to center, maybe take a happy baby or let your knees windshield wiper from side to side. And then we're going to move towards a Savasana position of your choice. Either take your legs long in front of you, let your feet fall open, or if you would like to take your legs up a wall, that is an awesome option. That's what I'm going to do. And if that's what you'd like to do, make your way to a wall. Bring your hips to the wall. Slide your legs up the wall. And then same thing, bring your arms to your sides, palms facing up. Really letting your low back release towards the earth. Releasing any tension. Letting go of the control over your breath and taking your mind to a really quiet, peaceful place for the next couple of minutes. Savasana. Start to reawaken here. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Finding some bigger movements, maybe point and flex your feet. Rock your head from side to side. And if your legs are up the wall, you're going to slowly pull your knees in towards your chest. Maybe give it a little rock from side to side. And then you'll roll off to one side or the other in the fetal position. Taking your time here, taking a moment to feel gratitude for yourself, or taking this time on your mat. Thanking your body for everything it does for you every single day. And then slowly pressing your way back up to a seat. When you're ready, don't rush. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me for this backbending flow. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you back tomorrow for day 4. Namaste.